If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. All Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.
Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to WagerTalk TV. This is Stoppage Time, and I am Carmine Bianco. Champions League Leg 1s are done. We are on to Europa League quarterfinals, and we're going to cover a couple Leg 1 matches today. Man United and Sevilla, Juventus and Sporting FC. A couple games of interest. And then we're going to go to the EPL on Saturday. A couple of games of interest there. Chelsea and Brighton, and then Everton and Fulham, a couple teams fighting that relegation battle. It is a huge battle going on in the Premier League, so we want to cover some of those over the weeks to come, as well as the top four. With me from WagerTalk.com, it's Kevin Dolan and Brian Power, and filling in the sports memo seat, it is Nick Borman. Let's bring them over and into the show. Guys, we were just talking prior to the show about like taxes, and here in Canada, we have what's called a tax-free savings account. You can put your money in it and it grows and you don't get taxed on. In the US, I know you guys have the 401k, but this man in Europe has invented the Chelsea 401k. You just bet against Chelsea every single time and you continue to make money. Kevin, congratulations, man. 5% play on Real Madrid for you yesterday. How are things going?
Yeah, I got my Shakur Stevenson fund on one end. I got the Fade Chelsea fund on the other. They're ticking over nicely right now. Yeah, as you said, 5% winner in the Champions League last night in Madrid. Fairly comfortable, you'd say, overall, watching that game. I thought Kante did well in spots, against Modric in midfield. But look, the difference maker, we all knew it was there. Madrid have the firepower to make you pay. And, once Chilwell went off especially, the game was over from that point on. So nice to cash that. We got a Europa League triple pack up for today, MLS triple pack as well. 8-0 run on MLS best bet side. So, yeah, things are going really well right now. And, looking to stay hot and give it a couple of winners on today's show as well.
Awesome. Let's get some winners. Oh, Brian, any surprises for you in Champions League? On Tuesday, I was a little surprised by that score line in the City game. I had the under 3 in that game, and if you told me that Bayern Munich weren't going to score any goals, I would have felt really confident about cashing that ticket. And then with about 15 minutes left, when there was that flurry of goals, I started to wonder if this was going to be like a 4-0 game and it was going to squash my. I was happy to get a push. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, they kind of waved the white flag at the end, and I guess we're trading hands in the locker room. Reports, right? It all's not well with Bayern. That was the only match I didn't play of the 4. Actually, things are going well overall. 7-3 last 2 days. Went 4-1 yesterday. Guess what? The only loss was yesterday, guys. It was Chelsea not scoring because I had a both teams to score prop. That's 4 matches in a row. So you talk about waving the white flag. I think I'm waving the white flag with Chelsea officially. Thank you, Carm, for not assigning that game to me today. Overall, 25.9 units were up over the last 9 days. Wednesdays have been really great for some odd reason. I guess it's totally random, but 21-6 since March 1st on Wednesdays after the 4-1 day yesterday in all sports. Did hit our 4% best bet in the Champions League with the under on Napoli and AC Milan. And, by the way, guys, since March 1st, I am now number 1 with all soccer plays rated 4% or higher. So I guess I'm learning something here on the program. Thank you very much. And look to kill it this weekend. Got a Europa Conference League play we're dipping into today. So excited about that and excited about the show.
Love it. And keep on winning. I think we all get information from each other, which is absolutely great, and continue to make money. one guy who makes a bunch of money in MLS, especially Nick Borman. What's going on, man?
Yeah, it was a very good week in MLS, 4-0 sweep, including second 5% winner of the year. So been continuing to roll along there, up over 30 units already on the year. So hopefully continue that to get to our 5th straight winning year. Champions League was good this week, 3-1. Of course, the only loss was my 5-unit selection, which was a disaster. That was Bayern. So smack me for trying to take that. Maybe it was my futures play that had me blinded by the light, I guess, there. But unders in the Napoli game yesterday and the Inter Milan game, and then Real Madrid. I was on that as well, just like Kevin yesterday for a best bet. So it's been a good week. Golf's been going well. MLS, like I said, has already been going well. So it's things are on a good trend right now, and we'll see what happens as we get into this weekend. But I'm looking forward to. I don't have much going on today in the Europa. I do have one small play, but that's it. Trying to focus on weekend action coming up. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, let's get to it, boys, and then I'll. After our second game, I'll remind you guys of the promo, but I want to get to the games right now. And the first one on today's Europa League card, it is Man United and Sevilla. The odds on this one, Man United minus 261 at Old Trafford. The draw is plus 391. Sevilla, a juicy plus 738 for the team that seems to own and love this competition. Kev and I are going to look at this game. Kev will give you a more comprehensive breakdown. I'm going to look at it this way, and I'm first going to mention some omissions from the Man United lineup. Rashford is set not to play. McTominay, who's playing some of the best football, I think, of his career, is scheduled not to play, as well as Luke Shaw, which I think is a big miss for this team as well. I'm looking at the total here, but I'm going to go with the first half total on this. Sevilla, this isn't the Sevilla of Sevilla teams past who have played extremely well in this competition, winning, I think, on 5 different occasions. They just have struggled this year, and they've struggled away from home. In La Liga play itself, they have the 5th worst goals allowed number. And then if you look at them away from home, the 4th worst. And there's some bad teams at the bottom of those La Liga standings. The managerial change hasn't helped this team. They just continue to struggle away from home. I think there's going to be some goals in this game, but especially in that first half. I'm going to go over 1, minus 130 in the first half. I think we're going to see at least 1. I think we're going to see a couple of goals. And this game eventually should go over the total, but I think we're going to see the goals early in this one. I'm going to go over 1, minus 130 is my lean on this game, and send it over to Kev to break down this game.
Yeah, I took a small play on the Manchester United halftime, full-time prop at even money in this one, Carmine. United have scored in the first half in both of their recent games in the Premier League. It's a tactic, that's obviously served them well. Take that early lead, coast the rest of the game, and I believe that'll probably be the blueprint for this game as well on Thursday. Sevilla, as you said, they're under a change of management right now. Sampaoli out, Mendilibar in, and in fairness to them, they've looked a little bit better. They've looked definitely a bit tighter across recent starts. I thought they deserved to win against Celta Vigo last time out. But as you also said, some serious questions remain about this team's away form. Bar a recent win against relegation battle in Cadiz, Sevilla went winless across 7 straight road games across all competitions, losing 5 of those 7 games outright as well. So, I watched their performance in the last round against Fenerbahce. You just wouldn't assume looking at them in that game over in Istanbul that you're looking at the all-time record winners in this competition. They looked absolutely pathetic. They were trying to wrangle a late penalty appeal. They were outshot 14-3. They generated just 0.09 XG in that game as well. And, that's against Fenerbahce. If United are anywhere close to their best, yes, they have some absences, but there's just there's such a massive gulf right now in terms of where these two teams are at right now. So, I get Rashford is out. He's key, obviously, being their top scorer, and there are other injuries as well. Sevilla's under new management, so they'll probably be a little bit tighter here. And, historically, at least, look, I think if you gave us this line at the start of the season, Sevilla plus 1.5, I think we all would have took it. But, in terms of where these two teams are at right now, Sevilla fighting for their lives in the Liga, United top 4 in the EPL, and, United are outright favourites for this competition as well. While, I'm going to steer clear of the outright market, that price is too high. The halftime, full-time prop definitely appeals to me because, like you, I expect a quick start here. I do expect goals in the first half. So, yeah, at even money, I like Manchester United on the halftime, full-time prop to get over the line in this one.
All right, Kevin Dolan. I love the fact that we are thinking along the same lines. Let's get that 2-0 halftime lead, and then we'll clean it up in the second half, get the United win, and maybe the game soars over that 2.5 total as well, too, which I think carries about 130 juice on that one. All right, guys, the second game on today's card, again, another game of interest that goes at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It is the Italian side, Juventus against Sporting Lisbon. The odds on this one, Juve minus 122. The draw is plus 246. Sporting plus 381. Brian and Nick are going to break this one down. I'm staying off of trying to break down any Juventus games right now. But I will say this. This is probably as healthy as this team has been. Federico Chiesa is scheduled to start in this game, and the man who's been missing all season long will be on the bench, Paul Pogba. I'm not sure how big news that really is, but the fact that Chiesa should be in the starting lineup is really going to help out Dusan Vlahovic in this one. Brian, I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you would expect a strong effort here coming out of the gate from Juventus. They're coming off back-to-back frustrating results, the 2-1 loss to Lazio in league play, and then they had that 1-1 draw with Inter in the Coppa Italia, which I'll hit on again here in a moment. But prior to those, as you know, Carm, they'd won 11 of 13 across all competitions, and when it comes to European football, they've won 3 straight without conceding a single goal. If you recall, they advanced to the final 8 of the Europa League by defeating Freiburg 3-0 on aggregate. A few other things worth noting with this Juventus side. Since eliminating Freiburg, they've scored exactly 1 goal in 4 straight matches. Includes a pair of 1-0 wins over Verona and Inter in the league. Overall, 6 of their last 8 matches have seen 2 or fewer goals scored, And going back to that 1-1 draw I touched on with Inter in the Coppa Italia, that was a misleading final, I thought. The match was scoreless until the 83rd minute. You had a wild finish with the only goal Juve conceded being a penalty 5 minutes into stoppage time. That was brutal if you had the both teams to score no prop, I would say. So not a lot of goals with this Juventus side recently, and that's what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting a low-scoring match with Sporting. While they failed to win any of their last 15 matches away to Italian sides in European competition all time, they're not to be taken lightly. Remember, they got by Arsenal in the round of 16 and are unbeaten in the last 11 matches overall. Certainly with the step up in class, I don't think we're going to see anything like that 4-3 result we saw from them over the weekend. This being a first leg, guys, we talk about this all the time. First leg's maybe a more cautious approach. I just don't see much scoring taking place in the Champions League. Obviously, we talked about that early in the week with 4 clean sheets. If Juventus is able to score first here, they're pretty good at being able to grind out a 1-0 win. My thought is that that's probably the final score here, but my official lean, Carm, would be to the under. If you can get 2.25, I would highly recommend it. There's 2s, obviously, in most shops, but I don't think we're going to see more than a goal here. And, oh, by the way, P.S., Serie A sides having themselves quite a European campaign. You talk about surprising results earlier in the week. Inter, with the win at Benfica, we might get 2 Italian clubs in the Champions League Final 4. Man U's the favorite in the Europa League, but Juventus and Roma are the second and third choice. And we can't forget about Fiorentina in the Conference League. So Serie A, maybe a little bit better than we think, but this match, I would go under again on the 2 or 2.25, no matter what you can get it at.
All right, like it's. I think what Brian is trying to tell you guys is this could be an exact score, 2-0 Juventus in this one. That's what he's saying, Nick. That's what I'm hearing. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing similar, and I'm thinking similar. If I'm taking a side, I would probably argue that Juventus, more often than not, will win this. But listen, Sporting is not a easy team by any means, and they got here by let's not forget knocking off the Premier League leaders Arsenal in the last round, so they've proven they can bang with the big boys. Juventus, I mean, Brian touched on them. We know how good their defense historically has been, and this year has been. I mean, 17 clean sheets in Serie A is just, I mean, I guess it's what you come to expect from these guys, but it's strong. 9 at home. They had that 8-match winning streak before the break, all clean sheets. They've now kept 5 more clean sheets over their last 9 matches. They know how to grab a lead and see a game out pretty much better than anyone. Sevilla maybe was the other team that you could argue, at least in the past years, that could do that just as well. And in the knockout games they've played so far, they've kept 3 clean sheets out of 4. They held Freiburg scoreless in both rounds, and they gave up just 1 goal to Nantes in their 2 legs. So clearly they know how to play knockout football. Sporting, they have a solid defense as well. They've kept 13 clean sheets in their Liga Portugal, but obviously you can argue maybe not as strong of a league, especially as we're seeing this year, as Brian mentioned, how good all the Serie A teams are doing in the European competitions. But they also earned clean sheet wins over, this is Sporting, they earned clean sheet wins over Frankfurt and Tottenham during the group stage as well. So let's not forget that. Brian said it again, it's leg 1. So I don't think neither team really plays up tempo style that pushes for goals anyway, and it's leg 1. I don't see a lot of action here. I'm going to stay off the side. I would lean towards Juventus, but I do like under 2.25. You can get that quarter for, I'm still seeing like minus 130 even at DraftKings available. So I like under 2.25 for this match as well. Probably low scoring.
All right, that is the Juventus Sporting Lisbon breakdown. And Sporting are a tough team. They gave Arsenal all they can handle, obviously eliminating them. So the winners of this one will face the winners of the Sevilla Manchester United draw in the semifinals. So that should be a good one as well too. 4 very good teams, and any one of those matchups would be a good one. Guys, before we move on to some weekend Premier League games, I want to mention the promo that we have. This is the last week for it. You get 6 weeks of soccer from your favorite capper on this show. The 4 guys you see here today, and of course also Pablo Sagretos, who was on Tuesday. For only $1.99, it regularly goes for $3.57. This includes all 5% soccer plays as well too, and this will take you pretty much to the end of May, which coincides with the end of the domestic leagues across Europe. The Premier League, League One, Serie A, Bundesliga, and La Liga. So this is a great deal for a ton of soccer. And then you're also going to get MLS for 6 weeks mixed in there as well too. So a great deal. Head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo and take advantage of that 6 weeks for only $1.99. All right, let's head into some Premier League action on the weekend. And the first one, the team we all love to talk about, and Kev just loves to talk about them, Chelsea taking on Brighton. The odds on this one, Chelsea plus 162. The draws plus 242. Brighton plus 167. A lot of plus money right across the board on this one. Here's the thing for me before I throw to you, Kev. This is a Chelsea team that have not scored in 4 games now. They just can't find the back of the net. They've changed the manager. There was no managerial bounce after that one. And it is a team that I think, at least coming into this weekend's game, is thinking about their game a few days later at home at Stamford Bridge against Real Madrid, and whether they can do the same as what they did against Dortmund and overturn a League One loss and get into the next round. That's going to be a tough one, but I think we might see a couple players rested. I think we might see a different formation here, but regardless, they're just not scoring goals at the moment. Brighton are playing extremely well. It's a game that probably is a lot more important to them than it is to Chelsea. I'm taking the under here. I just don't see how we get over 3 here unless there's a flurry of goals and mistakes early on. Under 2.5 has to be the play here, and that's what I'm taking, and I'll throw it to you, Kev.
Well, for those of you who don't know, me, Brian, and Nick had a 3-way rock, paper, scissors contest before the show about which one of us were going to be forced to talk about Chelsea. I lost, so here I am. I got the short straw. Where do you start with this one? I remember, one of my handicapping tools, it still is. I like to look at previous prices. I know Nick has followed that thought process before as well, because it gives you an idea of how much value is on offer now. Take this Chelsea side, though, and roll it up throw it in the trash can, because it doesn't matter how much value potentially we're getting from a line that was last year, because it's just a completely different team. So that's the first thing. No surprise. Look, I'll be adding to my Chelsea pot this weekend. I want no part of them. I like Brighton in this one. We turn over to Brighton, and they were absolutely jobbed out of a result against Tottenham last time out. They're stolen, highway robbery, multiple goals disallowed, penalty appeals that were clearly penalties. They dominated the match at XG. Stuart Atwell had an absolute howler as referee. It was that much of a farce that Michael Salisbury, the VAR official in charge, he was handed a 1-week suspension due to his sheer incompetence in that game. So it just shows you how much, that's no consolation to Brighton. They won't get those points back, but it just highlights how good they are, Brighton, and have been under De Zerbi this season. I know Frank would obviously love his first home win back in charge of the club, give the fans something to cheer for. But, as you said, they have an absolutely mammoth game coming up against Real Madrid on Tuesday night. That's their entire season, because domestically, this game, if they won the game or lose the game, it doesn't really matter to them that much. They're stuck on mid-table. They're not going anywhere. So this whole game revolves around, Brighton are the better team. Brighton are in the better form. And Brighton have the greater need to win this game as well. They're fighting for those top 6 spots. So, I got to take them here. If you're giving me a straight pick-em line, that if Chelsea somehow manage to get a draw at home, then I get my money back. I'm quite happy to take Brighton. Brighton will be on my card this weekend for sure. So Brighton pick for me, minus 105. I like that.
All right, Kevin Dolan. And Kev, the funny thing is, if we were talking about these two teams a mere 18 to 24 months ago, we'd be talking about how Chelsea is likely a goal to a goal and a half favorite in the game, and rolling along. And it's just amazing how things change in football. It's just the way it is. And here we are, two teams. And I think, in all honesty, Brighton are a better managed team. Roberto De Zerbi is doing a fantastic job. He did it for Sassuolo. He had them playing some very good attacking football in Serie A against some of the best teams that Serie A had, and he's doing it here. They don't set up defensive formations much, this team. They play to win and they play to score, and that's what I'm loving about these guys. All right, let's head into the final game. Not two shiny names on the card, but two teams that are looking for some points. Everton and Fulham. The odds on this one: Everton plus 106. The draw plus 239. Fulham plus 274. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one to give me your thoughts on this one. You look at Everton, and they currently sit in 17th, tied with Nottingham Forest at 27 points, but they have the tiebreaker on goal differential right now. Fulham a lot better, 39 points. They're safe, but they've lost 4 straight games. Where are you going on this one, Nick?
Yeah, the table position certainly, would indicate that you want to probably jump on Everton in this match. Fulham are, I kind of call it the who cares range, right? Too far back to contend for European. Well, it seems like well safe of any relegation battle. So everything is on Everton in this match. And really, I think Fulham, kind of their last meaningful game, obviously there's still not 9 games left or whatever, but I say their last meaningful game, that their season, what they wanted to do is maybe get something done in that FA Cup. They lost to Man United, and they lost 2 Premier League games right before that, and now 2 since that. So 5 straight losses. Again, it just kind of echoes my thoughts of who cares? It just seems like each passing game for them means less and less and less. So I just don't want to touch, the side here. If anything, you lean towards Everton just from a who needs the game more situation. Look at data from these teams on the season. You're looking at 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league according to defensive expected goals. Everton allows 1.8 per 90 minutes, ranks 18th. Fulham dead last, 1.94. But most of that has come when they're playing high caliber sides, as each of them have done a decent job against other bottom half of the table teams. And additionally, neither team really has a good offense to take advantage of one another's poor defenses. Everton generate 1.15 expected goals per match, 14th in the league, and Fulham are only slightly better at 13th, 1.25. But over Fulham's last 11 matches, they've been much worse in creating chances, as they've averaged only 0.86 expected goals per 90, with only 3 matches that they actually finished with more than 1 expected goal in those last 11. So clearly not clicking on offense. As a direct result, the one trend that has really been kind of going for both of these teams is that their matches are they're staying low scoring, and you're seeing both teams not get on the score sheet. So the both teams to know prop has cashed in 7 of Fulham's last 10. And the same can be said for Everton, 8 of their last 11, with one of the teams getting blank. So knowing that, you can look at the total, which is low at 2.25, or you could look at the both teams to score no markets. I think either are good. I lean a little bit more towards the both teams to score no in case of maybe a 2-0 result. That'll still get us a full win, versus obviously the 2.25 goal would just get us a half a win. So I'm going both teams to score no. I don't hate the under as well. That's fine as another option, but I think we're going to see a low scoring, boring game, because we got 2 inept offenses and defenses that will probably at least do enough against one another in this match. So both teams score no from me here.
All right, Nick Borman of Sports Memo. Brian, I'm going to give you the final word on this one. You look at Everton, and as I mentioned previously, 27 points right now. But at home, in their last 5 games, they've picked up 10 of a possible 15 points. When you only have 27 points on the season, that's an uptick in form at home. Can they get the win here?
Yeah, and something that's interesting about that, what you just mentioned, picking up the 10 of 15 points, 4 of the 5 sides they hosted, top half of the table. So they've been able to step up in class. I am totally on board with what Nick had to say about Fulham and where they're at in their season. Obviously, I don't need to tell you guys or most of the listeners, the goal for any newly promoted side is just survival, right? And Fulham, barring a catastrophic collapse, has already guaranteed themselves that. There's so many teams below them. They would all have to jump up. They'd have to just completely fall apart. Now, their recent form suggests they're not going to win many more this season, but 10th in the table, 12-point gap between them and the relegation zone. I think Fulham is just going to finish kind of in the middle of the table, but that, to me, makes them a clear fade. And there's 2 concerning things. Nick hit on this a little bit. Despite being a middle of the table side, Fulham's underlying metrics are not good. Understat has them basically dead even with Everton, 3rd worst in expected points and expected goal difference in the league. The only 2 sides below them, Forest and Bournemouth, the 2 other freshly promoted sides for this season. Secondly, the suspension of Mitrovic. We got to talk about this. It is just fatal to Fulham's attack. Nick talked about how inept they are offensively. Well, without Mitrovic, they're really in trouble, because he is by far their leading scorer in league play. No one else has more than 4 goals. I talked about this in my analysis last week when I faded Fulham against West Ham, which a match they lost 1-0. Overall, 5 straight losses. The last 2, West Ham and Bournemouth, teams in the relegation battle. So Everton has hope here. They've done well at home against teams above them in the table. I know they got beat by Man U last weekend, but I don't just throw that out. I mean, this is just a much weaker side they're playing this week. And this is a stunning trend that is got to reverse itself. Everton has not won any of their last 9 matches against newly promoted sides. That I almost fell out of my chair when I read that. So I think that's going to come to an end. I think Everton, they need this match more. Nick hit on it. Look for Everton to get the full 3. I'm on them.
All right. I like it. I think I'm on it as well, too. I think I convinced myself just in talking to you guys that I like this game just as much. So hopefully we can get the win. Guys, before we go into our recap to see the leans and to see what everyone has up at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, I want to mention the deal that is going on both at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where if you're new to either site and have never bought a package before, you can get a great deal, 50% off any single day package or any 3-day all access package. At WagerTalk, you use the TryWT, and over at Sports Memo, you can use the TryMemo coupon code. And if you're, as I said again, if you're new to WagerTalk and Sports Memo, it's a great way to dip your toes in the water and give one of the cappers a try at 50% off, which is a great deal. So head over and try it as many times as you want. All right, guys, let's head into our leans section of the show. We'll put up your leans and see what you guys have up at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. And Kev, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, well, like we said at the top of the show, Carmine, Europa League triple pack up for today. MLS triple pack already loaded up for the weekend card as well. And still time to take advantage of that $100 off the rest of my MLS season package when using code MLS100. 8-0 best bet side run at MLS after sweeping again last week. 53-29 run our last 82 MLS plays as a whole as well. So it's been a great season. And look, now is a great time to jump on board, pad that bankroll over the summer months and the lead up to college football and NFL coming back. So, exciting weekend ahead.
Keep making money, Dolan, because I'm looking forward to you coming to the Wager Talk meet and greet on August the 19th at the Westgate. We're doing the 18-pint Guinness challenge, and you're bringing me some Middleton's rare whiskey, so I'm looking forward to it. Nick, I'm going to go over to you next. I'm not sure what you can bring me up from Philadelphia, maybe a set of irons, but let's have a look at your leans and tell us what you have up at Memo.
Cheesesteaks, Carm, and Philly pretzels. That's what I'll bring because that's what we got. So I'll make sure you're fed. Right now, I got one Europa League play going on Thursday. MLS pack will be loaded here Thursday evening. Just like Kevin, been a great run, great season thus far, up 30 units. I'm hoping to continue that for our 5th straight winning season. So I too have the same promo going on as Kevin, where you can get $100 off for the rest of the year, and there's a lot of season left. And of course, that will include the first ever Leagues Cup, which is MLS versus Liga MX in the summer in a World Cup style format tournament. So that'll be included as well. And then golf is already off and running for the week. So you can still jump on board there because my selections in those packs are outright leaderboard plays, which you can get live at any sports book as the tournament goes on. So probably get better prices on some depending on where they are in the standings and worse on others. But that's what's up on my page right now.
All right, Nick, keep on winning, man. And we're going to talk some MLS, hopefully, so I can get some winners from you and Kev. I'm winning, but you guys are absolutely killing it. Brian, we'll have a look at your leans. Tell us what you have up at Wager Talk.
Yep, 3 plays today, Carm, up currently on my page at Wager Talk, including that 4% Europa Conference League play I mentioned at the top. We talked about the great run we've had with all 4% soccer. Also, 2 MLB up for Thursday. We swept MLB yesterday. 11-5, last 16 at the ballpark, up 37 units going back to last year's playoffs. And NBA swept our play-in round selections as well, going 3 for 3. Ooh, did we get a little lucky on that Bulls-Raptors over last night. I know that could be a sore subject to some, the results, but I will take it nevertheless. And feeling good and heading into the weekend, Carm, doing good. Like I said, up 25 units overall the last 9 days, 7-3 the last 2.
Love to hear it. Guys, before I go into mine, just a quick mention that while doing those promos, the Try WT and the Try Memo, I said use it as many times as you want. You can actually only use that coupon once. So use it on your favorite capper who has the initials CB. You can find them over at Wager Talk, but try WT for 50% off a 1-day package or a 3-day all access. Myself, coming off a 5-1 night, it's been a great week. 52 units in the last 7 days. Gained a great NHL season, which is coming to an end on Friday, but a huge slate today. 4 games up in the NHL, and I'll discuss some games at the top of the hour with Brian Leonard and Andrew McInnes on Puck Time, and a couple Europa League games that you can get as well, too. So head over, maybe grab the 1-day all access or the 3-day all access with that promo if you've never bought a package before. And let's make some money. Guys, we're going to be back on Tuesday to talk some Champions League Leg 2 fixtures. And we're going to try and make you money, guys. Listen, for myself, Kevin Dolan, Nick Borman, and Brian Power, this is Stoppage Time. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck with your wagers, guys.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. All Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50. A 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50. And the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's 1 day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring offer.